And we're live.
Oh man, I want to actually watch that again. That was so dope. That was cool.
I thought I was playing Rez for a second. That was pretty cool.
No, I thought JC was reenacting a scene from Underwater. You know, the underwater scene from Mario.
I felt like I was swimming through something.
Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I was like, are we looking at Tron right now? That's just so awesome, man. That's dope.
That was nice.
I forgot I was supposed to be doing. Oh yeah, introducing the show. What is up, Geeks and Geekettes?
Let's just get going.
It's a very exciting episode of the Countdown to the Geekcast because we got Jericho back. What's up, Jericho?
Oh, I'm here. How's it going, y'all?
Yeah.
Hence the reason we're late because, technical issues.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were supposed to start almost an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
On that one, right?
And we lost Ted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh. I said we're gonna blame AT&T for the delay because they decided to cut your internet for some
No,
reason.
Spectrum.
Well, I have Spectrum, so I don't know what AT&T was doing.
Watch your
I
damn
could've
language,
sworn
bro.
you said
You fucking my fiber connection.
You watch your filthy mouth there. AT&T is the best.
You shut your mouth. You knew it was good for you. Yeah.
Oh God. Well, they sold Warner Brothers, but that's a different story. What is up, Geeks and Geekettes? My name is Steady. With me on this episode is the man, the myth, the legend. You know him as JC.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
We also got the man behind the magic, the one and only Joe Garcia.
Hey, everybody. I'm dead tired, man. This man has done a lot of yard work. We had a lot of technical difficulties behind the scenes.
A technical
I'm not
difficulty?
going to say who it was, Jericho, but we had a lot of technical difficulties. And then when one got fixed, we had another one, but I'm not going to name names, Ted.
We won't talk about that. And last but definitely not least, making his triumphant return to the Geekcast, the one and only Jericho. What's up, man?
What's up, y'all? So far, every episode I've done has been my triumphant return.
Right? The product returned.
There's like gaps, so yeah, they're always triumphant, bro. Of course.
That's true.
You know, I kind of want to live in that little castle that Jericho has right next to him, though, man. Mm-hmm. I've been eyeing that since he came out on the video.
That's an old little toy that my son has. A little toy.
We'll talk about that later. We got something about
preschool. No, I'm gonna do a tour of my son's room. You don't want to do that right now?
At the end of the show, if we have time.
Because Ted sends us a long-ass fucking agenda we got to get through. It's already late. So.
That's true.
Let's go ahead and start with the topics for today. We got a bunch of geeky weekly headlines to talk about. I'm going to do some rapid fire. Hopefully, if we have time for it at the end of the show. We're also going to talk about our friends at Celebrity Fan Fest. They had a plethora of amazing announcements that we got to cover for their event that they're hosting at the end of July, early August. But first, we're all here to talk about the season premiere of one Loki series on the Disney Plus streaming service. We're going to talk about our theories. We're going to talk about Easter eggs, and we're going to just spoil the hell out of the first episode. So if you haven't seen it yet, I really want you guys to pause this video and check out the first episode of Loki, and then come back and watch us discuss this episode in its entirety. So this is your warning. If you haven't seen the first episode of Loki, pause this video, check it out, and then come back and talk to us about it. But if you have seen it, we want to hear from you. So in the comments, talking to you right now, I want you to let us know what you thought about the first episode. What are your theories? What are some of the Easter eggs that you spotted? Give us your favorite funny moment. Whatever you guys want to talk about. The floor is open right now. So Marvel fans, unite, and let's get into this first episode of Loki. I'm going to start off with a quick summary. Is that all right with you guys? That work?
Sure. Emphasis on quick.
I'll try to keep it quick, yeah.
You better keep it quick today.
JC, time me.
Don't tempt me.
JC,
start the timer that we use at work. All right, go.
Ready, set, go.
Ready, go.
Flashback to Endgame, New York City, 2012. The Avengers, in an attempt to steal the Tesseract after the Battle of New York, end up handing it to Loki, who portals himself away and crash lands in Mongolia. Very reminiscent of Tony Stark's crash landing in Iron Man back way back when Phase 1. He is arrested by the Time Variance Authority, an intergalactic multidimensional organization that seeks to keep order within the sacred timeline. And by order, I mean no unauthorized parallel universes, and by authorized, I mean by the approved by the three ancient timekeepers. He meets Agent Mobius, played by Owen Wilson. Wow.
Wow.
Who shows him glimpses of his past, as well as a few clips of the death of his parents from his future. And when Loki escapes with the reset device, he's overwhelmed by the realization this agency is all powerful. He sneaks back into the office of Mobius, witnesses his own death, admits he's only playing the heel role because he has to, but Agent Mobius gives him the opportunity to work with him and drops the bomb that the agency is looking for another Loki. So that's the entire episode in a nutshell. But I want to go around first.
Good
Jericho,
job. A
since
minute 20 seconds. Proud of you.
bam,
All right.
nailed it.
All right.
Jericho, I'm gonna reach out to you first, man. Since you've waited long to be on the show again. Shout out to David Lozano who said, "Here we go." It's awesome.
He also said Mosquito needs his own series. That's true.
I agree. And he also says first episode was near perfect and forget all the haters. I'm with David. 100%. And yes, Mephisto does need his own series, which we might talk about him a little bit later on and try and like eliminate all the rumors because some other stuff dropped. Jericho, back to you,
Yeah.
man. Give me or give all of us, tell the fans out there your overall thoughts about the first episode of Loki. Maybe also give us your like favorite part or some couple of things that stick out to you. Go for it, man.
All right. So overall thoughts. This is going to be a wild ride.
Yes.
I'm going to say, I'm going to start off by saying that from the first Avenger movie, I was not a big Loki fan, only because he started coming out in basically every movie, and it was starting to get annoying. But I started to kind of like him near the end, the last few movies, and of course with what was it, Endgame or Infinity War when he died, he kind of redeemed himself. But
Yeah.
with this show, I feel like he basically solidified that he's not as bad as he makes himself out to be. And yeah, like you were saying, he realizes that TVA is this all-powerful entity or whatever you want to call it.
100%.
I think the the Infinity Stone is what made him, was that breaking, realization point when Pillboy was like, hey, these are just some people use them for paperweights, and that's when he was like, boom, So I think it's going to be a great show. The fact that they're already introducing another variant Loki that they're looking for, who's going around killing people, killing groups of people and stuff. So, and that they're recruiting their prisoner, Loki, to find him. Like, I think it's incredible. I think my favorite moment from the show was actually when he was watching, when he was by himself in the room, and he was watching, fast forwarding, kind of going through different clips and stuff, and saw, from Ragnarok of how he and Thor, kind of made up basically at that moment, and seeing himself get killed, and that whole scene was great because you just saw him go through all these emotions, and you saw him go from I'm the god of mischief all the way to I miss my family, like he was really just broken down. So I thought that was really, really cool. There's a lot of stuff that happened in one episode. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's going to be a wild show. I forgot how many episodes are supposed to be, but I mean, it's going to be a great series.
Ooh, good question. I haven't heard either. Is it probably 8 to 10? Maybe
Find
6 or
out.
8. These are all like limited series, so they're all kind of falling
Yeah.
between the 6 to 8 range, I think. Because WandaVision was 6.
Mm-hmm.
No, 8. And
Six
then
episodes. 6 episodes.
6, and then Falcon and the Soldier was 8. I hope it's that long. I even hope it's a little bit longer because Tom Hiddleston is the man. Everything Jericho said, this is going to be a wild ride because right off the bat, they are telling us in a very few subtle ways that like everything that you thought was like OP and powerful and amazing and like just the best stuff of the MCU thus far means nothing right now. It absolutely means nothing to the TVA, and that's what's hilarious. And it's just like a complete shock to the system that they're doing this. Oh, there you go. We got Michael. Michael's in here. Mike,
Hey,
Marvel with the
Mike.
perfect funny emotional mix. Yes, absolutely. They know how to do both very well. Let's see. JC, you're up next, sir. Give us your initial thoughts about the episode, and then like what really stuck out to you, man.
First off, it's 6 episodes this season. Apparently, a second
Ooh,
season is in development, so there might be more to this one.
I hope
Kind
so.
of standalone thing. Really a strong debut. Kind of up there with WandaVision because you know the
Absolutely.
characters, but it leaves a lot to be imagined. This TVA it's hilarious. It seems like they took this and just covered everything that we've gone through the entire Infinity Saga, and they kind of just gave him his whole somewhat redemption arc that he had throughout the whole Infinity Saga, and then he's right back to stealing shit and wanting to get out and use that power for himself. So this is going to be a fun Loki. They pretty much established the multiverse thing. The the fact that Infinity Stones were paperweights, I was like, what? You know. So it's just how powerful this place is. It's going to be very interesting to see what kind of subtle nods they give to other multiverses, to past movies, and how they kind of follow this along, and really just how convoluted this timeline is going to be. I have theories, but we'll wait until later on in the show. I did enjoy it, and it does have me intrigued as much as WandaVision did to see what happens next. I will say that much.
David's in here said, Joe, these comments aren't staying. Put it back up. David says, loved Miss Minutes. F round to find out energy. Miss Minutes, which I was gonna say this for later on, but who is voiced by Tara Strong, Harley Quinn. I was like, oh
Nice,
my
yeah.
god, the Queen. The Queen is voicing Miss Minutes.
Yeah,
The
we got our
goods.
friends from the goods.
What's up,
Goods.
Manny?
What's going on, guys? He says, great episode. Us or Loki? I'm just kidding. The
Um,
inner conflict when he saw his mom die was a sign of a baby face card.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And that
Mhm.
was kind of, I threw that on my summary that he's been playing the heel this entire time. He confesses, right? I've been playing the heel
Pretty
this
much.
entire time in a number of words. And he's like the Robert of the group who's always playing the heel on the show. Shout out to Rob.
Shout out to
Joe.
Rob.
Joe, you're up next, man. Give us your initial thoughts about the episode. Maybe something that really stuck out to you, and then we'll start getting to the nitty gritty of this all.
Yeah, just real quick, Ben Walsh had a comment here too, and he put, "Can we
Ben,
talk about how darn good
Benny.
Owen Wilson was in his first episode?" And then we have another comment here by Michael Rodriguez, and he puts, "Infinity Stones only work in their own universe." So,
absolutely.
oh, and this is the other comment here by David Lozano. Why didn't Loki have blue skin in the
Ooh,
TVA though?
Mm.
That's interesting.
very interesting
Yeah,
because his powers don't work, right? Well, it's
supposedly
it.
because he's magic.
Yeah, it is very strange. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They might
We
talk about
already
that
found a
later on, I
flaw.
guess.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, magic doesn't work
Possibly,
very well. Yeah,
possibly.
we saw that magic didn't have any bearing there in the TVA, with the Infinity Stones being used as paperweights. The Tesseract, just a cube that you could use as a paperweight.
Pretty much.
You know, so I thought the first
Hmm.
episode of Loki was really well done. It was interesting. Kept you thinking and about what the possibilities were. One of the things that I think did stand out in this episode was kind of right off the bat when you see Owen Wilson's character, Mobius, and you have Loki, and they go to like 1549 in France, and they visit that
Yeah.
little girl, and she has that stick of gum called kablooey. That was one
Yes.
of the Easter eggs there. And it's kind of like there was a lot of attention put on that stick of gum for it to be nothing. I think that gum has some other significance that we're going to probably find out about later on in the series. What it could mean, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate at this point, but I think it does mean something. And I thought it was interesting that she pointed to the stained glass window, and it was a devil. So there, we always have
No.
these references, to Vito. Like it could be him. It could
Don't say it.
but I'm saying we've been here before, even with
Yeah.
WandaVision. We don't know what they're going to wind up doing. But one of the things that I did like is that Owen Wilson's character Mobius, he made a reference to. Oh, he goes, well, somebody had said something about nightmares, and he goes, oh no 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 no, I hate that division.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, I can see what you're doing there. So I mean, it's a reference to another division that might handle nightmares, aka Nightmare. You know, so
He said that he'll let Loki burn that place down because he wasn't
yeah,
going to let him burn down the TVA. Yeah.
yeah, you could
All
burn
right.
that place down.
This is what we're all gonna do. The four of us, everybody watching, and everybody's gonna be watching later on. We're not gonna fall for Marvel's tricks.
No,
All
I'm
right,
just
they
saying.
did this. They jacked us around with WandaVision,
Hugh
dropping all
Jackman
these
confirmed.
little Easter eggs, throwing in like helmet and costume pieces in the background, and we were all rolling with it and running with it. We're not doing that this time. We're gonna stay the course, and we're gonna wait for like some concrete evidence. I'm not believing the stained glass stuff. I'm not believing the nightmare stuff. I'm all waiting until like we get some hard concrete
Yeah,
evidence,
basically at this
and
point, I
that's what I'm
think they're
saying.
doing this. They've been setting people up for a long time.
Yeah.
They've been
Even with
setting us up.
references,
They've been setting up the fans.
even with the references going back to
Done
WandaVision.
with it.
You have a little bit of references even in Loki, episode 1 of season 1. I
Yeah.
think they're going to keep on throwing those little references out there because you're getting ready for the multiverse in Doctor Strange.
I think it was coincidental that it was well, okay, nothing with Marvel is coincidental, right? Everything is intricately thought out, but I think they use a stained glass of a devil to, for one thing, to throw you off, but two, she
Absolutely.
was she was pointing to more of the horns. So it was the person that killed, the people was somebody who had horns, as in Loki, who has his horn, helmet. That's how I saw it. Because I think that was just too blatant for it to be, here's a devil stained glass. Like, it's not Mephisto. They're not referencing him. I think it's straight up. The only way I could describe him was somebody who had horns.
Yeah,
That's
well,
all.
it's going
And
to be
I
interesting
was
to see
just
what they say.
yeah, the creator or one of the writers or something like that came out already and said no Mephisto at all. No reference, no Mephisto in the show. Now if they're lying, that's one thing. But they came out and said no Mephisto. So I'm
Yeah.
Okay.
taking them at their word and I'm not going to assume that that's going to be a thing. David asked if this broke the record for biggest series on Disney
Well, I
Plus.
do have some numbers here. I do have the
Oh,
numbers.
please,
Okay.
please.
Well, the numbers show that Loki actually did break a Wednesday premiere. It drew 890K U.S.
Ooh,
households, which was on a third-party streaming. On third-party streaming stat org said it's the largest U.S. premiere day audience for any of Marvel's Disney Plus shows. Loki had 890K households. It bested the first day of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, who had 759K, and the first episode of WandaVision, who had 655K. So Loki is making a splash right now, and it's
Mhm.
just so weird and out there that I think it's got people's attention. Especially, everybody loves Loki, because the guy's a character, man. He's so unpredictable. You just don't know what's going to happen. So I'm liking
But
this. But
but if
one of
you
the
think
things,
about it too, they're starting to have a great track record because we saw how great WandaVision was.
yeah,
It started, whether you love the first episode or you didn't catch on till a couple of episodes in, it really picked up. Everything was like cliffhanger, and you wanted to see what happened next week. Then Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I still haven't seen yet. Don't hate me, but
We'll hate you.
that show picked up so much as well. So it drew more people in from day one, and now it's like, okay, what's going to happen in Loki? Loki is this people, like you were saying, Joe. Everyone loves him, all that stuff, and so that just drew it even more. And plus, this is the first villain show, villain centered show that they've had. So I would think. So I
you're
think
right. Kind
that
of.
says a lot. That says a lot about Marvel too. So they know what they're doing. But that's some crazy numbers though.
Yeah, crazy numbers. But I was gonna say, wanted to circle back to one of the things that is crazy about the TVA and time itself and the way it works. They always have these uh, really extravagant weapons. That they go ahead and they drop when there's a variance in the timeline. To go ahead and reset time itself, so it resets the timeline to this really cool contingent timeline. To make everything flow in the proper way that it
Are you
should. So
talking about the grenades?
yeah, the
Yeah.
little grenades,
Yeah.
Almost like a
and
Men in Black kind of element to it.
yeah,
Too.
and even the
Maybe.
TVA
Yeah.
agents,
Maybe.
even the TVA agents have those little staffs, those little sticks, kind of like nightsticks, and they light them up and they hit people. And it's like that was funny when they hit Loki. You're moving at 1/16th speed, but you're feeling all the pain, and
Oh
you
man.
see all the ripples in his face, and that was pretty funny too.
Yeah.
And the time loops that they have, as far as like when they put the collar on, somebody tries to escape, they put them right back where they started from, and they're just
Mhm.
like, there's no point in running. Another funny part was when they were waiting to get seen, when Loki was waiting to get seen, that guy's like, take a number, and he's like, no, I don't want to take a number, and that guy didn't take a number, and he gets just vanishes out of thin air with the stick, and Loki's all in here looking for his
Vaporized.
number.
The goods.
And that guy,
Good. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying that guy was just like, I tried to get a number and he didn't want to give me one, and then
Yeah.
they just like, boom, you're gone.
Yeah, the goods
ahead,
made a
JC.
comment here, JC.
Yeah, he said, director said of the devil image, it's honestly just a super weird coincidence. Like it's generally a reference to Loki. The horns, he was cast out of heaven. That's what it's a reference to. Yeah, biblical in a sense. The devil is an angel, fallen angel kind of thing. They also said WandaVision is still number one for me. Falcon Wizard will turn me off with Avengers can't pay bills. Hey, come on. It got better at the end though, setting up Secret Invasion or Armor Wars. Hey, it's a bad economy. It's tough for everybody to pay their bills right now. It just happens. So
And then we had another comment here from David Lozano. He put Osen Wilson was near perfect, and he was. His acting was spot on. I thought he played a great character in Mobius. He was just so smooth. He just seemed like the level-headed guy, and he's still trying to be like almost like a therapist with Loki. Why do you do bad things? He's trying to make himself figure himself out by showing him, little things that he did in the past. And at the end of the day, it's like, Loki's doing all these bad things, and he finally says, it's all for show. It's just like he's wanting the attention and all that. He's like, I'm really not bad. I really don't like hurting people and this and that. So it was kind of a funny moment to see Loki just be humanized.
yeah.
And I like that because
Absolutely.
like Owen Wilson didn't play what I think is his normal characters that he plays, from all his movies. And yeah, something totally different from what he normally plays, but also, like he said, I mean, he was really trying to. It's almost like he knew what Loki was about, but he wanted Loki to make that realization.
Yeah.
Like he knew, it's like, I know you're not, like, you're not this guy, like you're not as big and bad as you think you are, and then finally it took the whole episode for him to realize that he's not. But they also need his help too.
But what if he
So I
still
don't know.
is?
Like I don't
What if
know.
he still is? And here's why. I mean, they say, basically they reveal at the end, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, they're hunting another Loki. Now everyone's theorizing this is a Loki from another multiverse, this and that. I'm theorizing, what if it's the same Loki? What if Loki's ultimate plan? You notice he saw the future. He saw his mother's death. What if he's trying to make steps to prevent those things from happening, preventing his own death, or prevent certain things from happening? And he goes a little ballistic when he realizes he can't.
I like that. I like that theory, and mine is somewhat similar, but a little bit of a different path.
Mhm.
So Loki always talked about, talking to Mobius. He always talked about ruling, right,
Mhm.
over people, or planet, what have you. It probably would have expanded from there had he been given the chance. And he finds out like they control everything.
Mhm.
And if they wanted to, they could control everything. I mean, they control every timeline and they have all the weapons and the capabilities of just taking down and out anyone. So, if I'm Loki and my number one goal and priority is to be all powerful and rule over some sort of dominion, like this is now the headquarters of how to do that, but across like the entire galaxy, multiple galaxies. But what I find really interesting is that we're given this history lesson for these timekeepers and how all these multiverses were just kind of rolled up into one. And I find that really hard to believe,
Mhm.
right? I mean, or this could be Marvel's way of accomplishing everything that people want. Different Spider-Men, bringing in the X-Men eventually, bringing in Deadpool, and they could accomplish all this stuff by having these multiverses converge and break off, and then somewhere along the line, these timekeepers have to wrap them all up into one sacred timeline again. And so you could just bring in people at a certain point. You don't have to give them origin stories, and I don't think Marvel wants to do that. So you could bring in, all these other characters in one fell swoop if you have this convergence of all these timelines into one sacred timeline. It's freaking crazy what the opportunities are. Like it's endless. The sky's the limit. The galaxy's the limit now. Marvel could do anything. They're giving themselves an out now by creating these rules, if you will. But I find it really interesting that there's only this one sacred timeline, that there isn't these multiverses with other characters. We are
Well,
expecting other characters from other multiverses very
all
soon.
all the multiverses are following that same sacred timeline. So it's all the multiverses. They're wrapped around, but they're all in one timeline. But you notice they're just kind of wrapped around. They don't necessarily blend in together. They're just in one simple timeline. So if they
That's
see
interesting.
something branch off, yeah, look, it's I don't. I'll compare it to DC. The idea that there's how many Earths, and they're all just kind of phasing in and out of each other, and that's how Flash is
Yeah.
able to move around. That's kind of basically what this is. So they are together. They're separate but together, if you will. They kind of flow in one timeline. They're just all in one.
Yeah, I
one
have a
string.
theory about that and why they made it one flow of time. It's because it makes it easier to understand Nexus beings, and they made a reference to the Nexus. They did the same thing in WandaVision. They're doing the same thing with the Loki series. And a Nexus being is a being who can exist in all realities all at the same time. The
Yeah.
list Nexus beings is interesting. You have the Scarlet Witch, which is on that list, and another uh, villain, let's say a villain who's on the list, is Kang the Conqueror, Franklin Richards of Earth 772. So I'm like, okay, there's a reference there, and they always have that reference. You even remember that too, going back to WandaVision, the Nexus, because she's a Nexus being. Now they're saying Nexus again. Maybe it's going to be the introduction, or they're going to say something about Kang the Conqueror. Maybe it could just be an Easter egg. Maybe it's a poster. Maybe it's just a picture or some reference, but it'll probably be in the episode. I would think in this series somewhere. It might not just be they say the character. You might see it as an off reference somewhere, but I think they're going to introduce him.
Okay.
I think you might get a reference. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think he'll be a flat out character, but
No. I think
someone
they're just like I said.
someone on here
They'll
was
reference
talking
him.
about Kang. David Lozano. Also, one of the timekeepers is probably King the Conqueror. I actually responded and said, or what if he's an agent? What if he's like Mobius or one of these Minutemen, like just went rogue for whatever reason? Thought he could, take control in his own hands, if you will.
Maybe
Right.
that's
That
why you're
is very
seeing
interesting.
the variant Loki. Maybe Loki from the future knows some shit. Maybe he knows that Kang takes over the TVA and he's trying to stop him. Trying to stop whatever's coming from happening. You know,
I love it. Look, listen to all of us right now. This is what Marvel's done. Like, we went from
Those
having
smart
one.
bastards getting us to talk about their
My
damn show.
head hurts.
they're going to be
My
the
head hurts from all
tonight
these
for Casey.
timelines.
Wolverine will come out of the TVA.
We
Where,
went from
where where's
having
that meme?
the
Where's that meme of Charlie like trying to sitting there with him?
oh
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
We went from the galaxy being safe, like half of all life being unsnapped, to now like all of that's borderline meaningless. The Infinity Stones don't do anything here. There's like dozens of them lying around this office space. Everyone's
Yeah.
using them, as Jericho said, as paperweights, and it's wild. Marvel just like
Wow.
wipe their hands, like, all
We
right,
got
we're
some
done with
comments
that.
here.
Let's start moving on.
Michael Rodriguez says the TVA has the power. It doesn't mean they're good. That's true. And then Manny from the
Yeah.
Goods, he puts Kang will be in Ant-Man 3, which
Absolutely,
we all know, and we're excited about that. So
it's gonna
again,
be
it could
dope.
just be an off-put reference somewhere, like we said, it could be in a book or see it on a screen real quick, a little quick flash, of Kang, But
Yeah.
and
I
then we have another comment by Michael Rodriguez. Where do
hmm.
the TVA employees come from? That's interesting because they're all human. I haven't seen an alien race of being in the TVA yet.
Well, to
That's
be
true.
fair, like people from other planets also look like human, but they're from other planets, so they may or may not be human. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. One of the weird things, though, that everybody overlooks is if you control the flow of time, you also control gravity because time and gravity go hand in hand. So I'm
Ooh,
interested to see what they're going to do as far as a reference to that somewhere, because those are the two biggest forces in the universe. It's time, and the second is always gravity. So to me, I'm interested as somebody who loves science. I'm a science geek. I want to see what they kind of do with that.
all right. I'm
Yeah.
gonna throw this question out to all you guys real quick, and I want everybody to say yes or no.
Mhm.
Uh, Jericho, we'll start with you. Was that Peggy Carter in the episode? Go.
Nah.
Ooh. JC, how about you, man?
I don't think are you talking about the picture or the camera in the background.
The girl walking in the background
Oh,
when Loki was like in the hallway.
When he first like escapes and
That's right.
he breaks off into the hallway, somebody's escorting a woman in a blue dress and had a very old timey 50s 60s
Oh, that's
hairstyle.
right. Yes, which has me wondering if she tried to find some way to get Steve back. Yeah.
Joe, what about you, man?
I'd like to dream, man. I'm going to say yes. It was
Mhm.
Peggy. Maybe it was Peggy from a different time, a different multiverse. That would be
The What If
interesting.
series that's coming, where it's
Hey, there you go.
Captain
All
That
right.
could
Britain.
it
Yeah.
that
I
could
guess I could
explain
see
it.
that.
Mhm.
I say no only because I think it's just too on the nose, and but it makes sense like what Joe said. Like it's Peggy from another multiverse, and
Yeah.
because I'm just thinking like the Peggy that we know, she doesn't have the power, she doesn't have contact to get the stones or anything like that. So I'm still sticking with no.
You know what? It's
So
funny here. I like this reference. Michael, he put a comment. Where do the TVA employees come from? It reminds me of that elf, Gimli. Remember from Lord of the Rings? We just spring up from the ground. He's referencing the female dwarves or whatever.
Yeah.
They have beards too. He's like, everybody thinks dwarves just pop out of the ground. And then Manny from the Goods, he's put in, are the scrolls in the TVA? Quite possibly,
Mm,
That
because
is
they
very
upgrade
possible.
everything.
they're
Michael,
all scrolls.
yeah, Michael Rodriguez says yes, it is Peggy,
Mhm.
and then we have David
Mm.
Lozano says Peggy. So
Love
everybody
the
wants
comments,
to,
guys. Keep them coming. Yeah.
Dave was
yeah,
on board.
everybody
Dave
wants
was
to
on board.
agree.
Hey,
Uh-huh.
so listen, I hope they explained it away, right? That it's Peggy. What if like Steve going back in time and living the rest of his days with Miss Carter created its own branch and he gets in trouble with the TVA or she gets in trouble with the TVA because technically he's still a variant, right? A man out of time
Yep.
changing what
Well,
might have happened. She might have married somebody different and he
I don't
came back
know.
to
So like,
change all
so
that.
what if she
But
like
here's the
took the
thing.
fall for him? Then is that what you're saying?
But
Is
as
it saying
it's
what?
Like, do you think she may have taken the fall for him, like trying to protect Steve? But they would know that, right? Wouldn't they know like it's Steve is the variant, not her?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
would.
Mm, I don't know, because when they mentioned, that their Mike just said it. The judge said he was okay with what the Avengers did. That what the
I mean,
Avengers
this is
did.
after that, though.
Yeah, well, the Avengers going back in time to take the Infinity Stones, bring everybody back
Yeah.
5 years later. That was part of the same timeline. These timelines are so confusing now.
Yeah,
So
they said the Avengers
yeah,
were
I
supposed to
got
do
it.
that. That was the whole
yeah,
point of it. Yeah,
I
that
that
got
was
was
it.
the difference.
Got it all figured out and explains all the plot holes at the
Oh,
end of Endgame where people didn't know, like, if Steve was in the primary timeline or if he went back at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, Steve takes Peggy out of her timeline and goes back to the Avengers timeline, and that's why she's arrested.
It's possible.
Boom.
I
That would
mean, or
explain why she's arrested and not Steve.
think about it. He's
My
traveling
head still
back
hurts.
to Peggy in the 40s and or however what 20s, 30s.
Well,
I
no,
forget.
no. So I'm not saying he takes her out of the 40s to like the 2000s. He
Yeah.
takes her from Peggy's timeline, 1940s, to like the Avengers Prime timeline, 1940s.
That's possible, or just the fact that him going back and explaining how he got there about time travel, and now she's curious about time travel, and maybe she develops something that where she breaks a timeline. Early
Michael
50s.
says early
Thanks, Mike.
50s.
Thanks,
Thank
Mike.
you, Mike. I knew
Yeah.
he knew.
He would know. Yeah.
I got more questions for you guys. The cat in the office. Flirkin? Yes or no? Jericho.
Yes.
I would
Nah,
like to say yes.
no.
Come on.
It's got to be.
It's the TVA. They're not the central all of
They
our
are.
references.
They basically
characters,
are.
side
They
characters.
are.
Nah, they're not going to do
probably
that.
don't even know what a cat is because that Loki told that one guy, "I'm gonna gut you like a fish," and he's like, "What's that?"
Yeah. So it's got to be a
That's-
flirt.
That's him.
Yeah.
He's never been out of the office before, like he said. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
Nah, I'm gonna be Rob. I'm gonna be the just negative the whole time.
Oh my god!
Don't
Like,
be
F this
Rob.
Not
show.
another one. Jesus Christ.
It's an art form, Jericho. It's an art form.
That's true.
Shout out
I
to
can't-
Rob.
I can't be like that.
Yeah.
You can't.
You
You
can't.
can't.
You
The
can't
darkness,
be like
Jericho. You
that.
have to be born into it, man.
Oh, man.
It's absolutely an art form, and somehow Rob perfected it.
Mhm.
Or he just doesn't turn it off because he's like that all the time. I don't know. Either one, really. More questions for you guys. I'll go back to this history explanation of the TVA. Right.
Mhm.
Some of these shots in this cartoon, which is like kind of Hanna Barbera, like old school animation type thing,
Right.
looks awesome, right? But one of these shots looks familiar. It talks about this variant like going off and creating this war, and there's like these two sides that are going head to head. The background of this looks like Titan because you had these ships or these structures that were in this like star shape, and they're in the background. So this might have been the conflict that took out Titan, possibly
I think it was a
started by
reference maybe to
someone.
the Eternals.
Say what?
It could have been a reference to the Eternals and their conflict, their civil war, that basically shook the foundations of reality itself.
Yeah, because the thing that happened to Titan, it's still a little fairly new, right? Because that was when Thanos was alive when that happened. So that would be
Yeah,
too
but he-
soon, I would think.
No, he's a
Yeah.
god though. He stays alive for like thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah, Thanos.
Yeah.
Thanos was created because of the conflict with the Eternals themselves, like the deviants, the bad version of the Eternals. They're the guys that kind of founded Titan, and they gave birth to Thanos. So Thanos is, part Eternal. He's an Eternal.
Mhm.
So you have that there, but that happened like years or centuries or millennia, however you want to put it, because
Yeah.
these guys, they live for an extra long period of time.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think we got that little explanation of what the TVA is, but I think we're going to get one episode dedicated to a lot of the back history that we'll get some questions answered. How do the employees get there? What is their, purpose? Like how do they, what's the training like? Do they go through the sit down and training videos and do all this stuff? And maybe a little deeper history about what the TVA was doing during certain events of the first few phases of the MCU, and kind of following along with that. If we don't get it in season 1, I'm pretty sure if they're doing a season 2, we might get something like that because people are going to be asking those questions.
Yeah, we have another comment from the goods here. Ted, you want to go ahead and read that out?
Peggy, after Endgame, the answer as to how she and Steve could have created a next event, turning both of them into variants that would attract the TVA's attention. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But one of them has to not be a variant, right? Because one of them is in the right timeline, one of them's not. And this would just
I don't
wrap
know.
up everybody's plot hole deal because like the writers had one idea in their mind, and the directors had one different idea in their mind, and so let's solve both by Steve pulling her out of this breakaway timeline or this timeline without a Infinity Stone in it, and he brings her back to the 1950s, Mike, into the Avengers primary MCU timeline.
So at that
That would
point,
be
who
dope.
becomes a variant, Peggy or Steve?
If Peggy's out of hers, it'd be Peggy. I mean, look, this
Okay.
is probably stupid that we're talking about it. It's not going to happen. It's probably not Peggy,
It's not even
but
the point of Loki.
Marvel
You know,
likes to
one
drop all these little hints in there. It's really
Mhm.
Mephisto dressed as Peggy. That's what it is.
I knew it.
I think one of
That's
the
what
things
it
we
is.
kind of overlook too is
And Deadpool's
the
in there
flow of,
somewhere.
the flow of time.
Mhm.
I think is different in the quantum realm because
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
Avengers did, the Avengers, what they did was supposed to happen. I'm wondering if whatever happens in the quantum realm, when you're time jumping or time skipping or whatever you want to say, however you want to say it, I wonder if that how that affects everything else. It has to be different. The flow of time in the quantum realm has to be different than outside in the multiverse. So it affects things differently because because even when you were talking with the what's her name? The was it Doctor Strange's mentor? What is she called?
Oh,
The ancient one.
Ancient
the
one.
ancient one.
The ancient one. She was talking about, oh, if you don't return the Infinity Stones to this exact point in time, they're going to create branches that could destroy the multiverse or the universe. You know, so
Yeah.
okay, and she kind of understood what they were doing, you know, and it didn't really occur to her until she didn't really approve of it until the Hulk finally said, "Oh, Doctor Strange is the one that said this is the only way that we would win."
He
Or
gave
this,
up the. Why did he give up the time stone? Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah.
so that's why she gave it to the Hulk, you know. Um, but I'm just saying, I think in general, the way the flow of time occurs in the quantum realm is different because look what happened with Ant-Man when he got stuck in the quantum realm. It was like mere seconds or minutes to him, and
Hours.
boom, he came back out, and it was like boom, it was years in the real world. So there's something funky going on there.
This is wild.
Yeah. Which
all
which
of
makes
this
me
is
wonder,
wild.
does Doctor Strange, having the ancient one having this knowledge, is there a book somewhere in Doctor Strange's library that explains what the TVA is? Does he know about this group? You know?
I mean, I don't know. It's a very good question. It really
Yeah.
shouldn't, but we'll see what
Damn it, Mike.
happens.
We got some
I
good,
saw
we
this
got
when
some
it
good
came in. Can
comments.
you get fired too? Yeah.
We
You
got
know?
some good comments. Look at Michael Rodriguez. He goes, "Can you get fired from the TVA for riding the clock?"
I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say like none of these guys get paid or anything. If it feels like
They work for their lives.
they only know the TVA. They don't know anything outside of
They're
it.
very naive.
This
They're
is
very
this
naive.
is
Right.
this is
They're-
all that
by
they
design.
know.
It's like forced slavery almost.
they haven't been exposed to a lot of things. Apparently, you know, doesn't even know what a fish
Absolutely.
is.
It's like a Truman Show kind of thing going on here, you know? So,
Manny had another
There you go.
comment here from the goods he puts. Exactly, Joe. That's why I think Ant-Man 3 will be more important than Doctor Strange 2. I'm with him on that one. That quantum
yes.
realm is going to be very instrumental in what happens moving forward, I think, into Doctor Strange.
Kang is formidable. I've been talking about Kang for how long did you see? About a couple of years now?
Since Endgame,
Since
pretty much.
Endgame, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Since it was over, you said that's who I want next. That's who you're saying.
that's absolutely how I want next. Kang can go toe to toe with the Avengers because of the type of technology he has and exactly how much of a genius he is, his intellect. So
Miss
yeah,
Kim
it's
is
gonna
familiar
be
with Kang.
huge.
She knows what's up because she wasn't in that quantum realm for that long without knowing some things. I think she's been to some places because look at her clothing when she was in that quantum realm. You can't
Ooh.
survive in the quantum realm. And when what she was there with rather rags on or whatever, she had a full outfit on. I'm like, where'd she get that? How did she survive there for so long? You need food, you need water. She got to get it somewhere.
No, it's they talk about all that. It works differently. You don't age the same way. Like you don't
But
have
she's
the
still aged,
same.
though. She's still aged.
But
She
slower, though.
did,
But
but
that was
like
like
a lot
40, 50
slower.
years
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah,
20 years. I don't know.
you're able to live differently in the quantum realm. It's not exactly how it is on Earth. That's what they were talking
I'm
about.
just saying, I think she's crossed paths with Kang. I think her and Kang are familiar with one another.
It's possible.
Maybe Kang's from the future. I don't know exactly how much he gets into the whole quantum realm and all that, but he is from the very distant future. In most stories, he's a descendant of Reed Richards. So that
Yeah,
would
he came
be
from an Earth where they had technology that they didn't even understand themselves.
yeah.
But Kang came across it, understood the technology, perfected it, and used it, and weaponized it.
I like how this show all the little hints and stuff, the names that they're dropping, the terms that they keep bringing up that we've been hearing from the last three phases. Well, then in this history explanation again, Miss Minute says if she warns everyone of madness if the sacred timeline breaks off into unchecked multiverses. Uh, and coming soon, as we all know, the multiverse of madness. David Lozano mentioned this earlier, but Michael Waldron, who's the creator of Loki, actually wrote a draft of Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. So be expecting the ramifications of this show definitely to be bleeding over into the Multiverse of Madness. And we actually might have like a new plot now. We thought like Scarlet Witch was going to be the catalyst of creating the plot or the issue that would have to be fixed. Now it might be that Loki ends with the madness occurring, and we have all these multiverses going haywire. And for Loki, this Loki, we're gonna have to think of a name for him. Loki Prime, because we're gonna start
Yeah.
running into some other
Sure.
Lokis. So let's say Loki Prime. Maybe by the end of the show, he decides like, maybe we could all use a little bit of madness or something. So instead of stopping whatever conflict is on the way, he might see what happens because he knows how his story ends. It's quite interesting that he's watching his death at the beginning
I
of
mean,
Infinity War,
Loki's
and
playing everybody,
his
bro. He's just
hence
playing.
the reason I think that
he
this
he he used to play everybody. Now he realizes like I
He's still
got
playing
nothing on
me.
these guys.
Don't trust him.
no, but hence the reason why I
But
think
JC, I
what they
mean,
reveal, like
yeah.
I said, that Loki that they say they're hunting, they're hunting you. I think it's the same guy. It's the same Loki. It's the one. It's a future Loki who's from the same multiverse, who's jumping, trying to. If you witnessed or saw how you died, wouldn't you do anything you could to prevent it? If you saw how your mom was going to die, wouldn't you do something to prevent it? I mean,
Possibly.
you know,
Would just
that's
go and
You
I
would
would reshape time how
yeah,
I see fit.
yeah.
pretty much.
I listen, I was right there where you were, right? I was right there with this Loki figured out a way to try and rewrite history. The problem was I couldn't find out when he would do that because unless he
He,
creates another variant of himself, then he's
uh,
kind of like the last Loki in this timeline.
You
So
don't
to
think
me, it
Loki
has
it
to
could still
be
be him because you think about it. He's slowly getting his hands on technology that they have at the TVA, and then he's going back to like what the 1500s. He's jumping like centuries before when he was.
Mhm.
So he knows that there's certain things that happen if he makes tweaks here and there that could change the outcome for his own life.
I bet you Loki meets himself somewhere in this series. He's
Yeah.
gonna meet himself. The Goods had another comment here. They put, "Do you think the Avengers are gonna miss Tony and Cap against the next main villain?" I think
ooh.
yes and no. They're gonna miss them for their veteran leadership, but at the same time, probably gonna get new characters that we already know are coming. They're gonna be introduced here to kind of help fill that void, so to speak. Of course, you can't fill the shoes of the OGs, but you're going to get some more talent to replenish the two that we did lose. And then we have another comment here from Michael Rodriguez. He goes, "Joe, isn't that what the timekeepers and the TVA did?"
In
So
reference to what?
maybe he's thinking about maybe what we're saying. They reshape time and as they see fit. Trying to keep the proper flow of time going. Well, like
Right.
we saw in the beginning, it's just them trying to keep the proper flow of time going in the manner that doesn't destroy the multiverse
Yeah.
because they're afraid of the variants, they're afraid of the branches in time. It's odd to me because it's to me I always and Loki introduces some new radical theories because to me you can never go forward or backward in time because if you go backwards time already passed. If you go forward it doesn't exist. But if you go sideways now you're getting somewhere,
Yeah.
so I don't know, it just kind of goes against the laws of physics, but I'm not going to question it. I'm going to enjoy the ride.
The laws of physics as we think we understand it today. Like
Yeah.
we this is all like theory stuff because nobody's been able to prove time travel as of yet. So this is all in theory stuff right now. I Edwin noticed the ETH 616 writing at the end of Loki's tape, the reel, as it was finished. At the end of it said ETH, which might be Earth, and then
Uh-huh.
616, which is from the Marvel comics, the primary Marvel timeline
Earth
616,
Prime.
Earth Prime.
Interesting.
Um, Also interesting that Loki's film, let's call it his film, didn't end when he died. It ended after he died, and the last shot was Thor holding his brother, after like right before the ship explodes. That was kind of interesting. I
Hmm.
don't know why it extended just that little part, but I liked it. I thought it was interesting.
Perfect.
Maybe he wasn't totally dead. He wasn't all dead, but partially dead, so he could still see that.
I don't know. It was a
moment
loud
with his
snap,
brother.
bro.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
throwing the Princess Bride theory in there, but I mean, maybe he's still conscious enough to. Obviously, he can't do anything, but he's.
Tis but a scratch.
I know it's
Yeah,
but a scratch. Just he sees that
it's just a
interaction,
flesh wound. Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think it was there just to show how his death hurt the ones around him. Then his brother, who at this point he figured hated him. So to see that there was it showed that there was some redemption thing there with him. So
Yeah, and
Um,
he showed the death of his dad, Odin, his adopted father.
mhm.
and his
Odin,
mom.
she still shed some tears over because ultimately he still has love for him, just
Mhm.
like,
I just wanted his approval. That's really what it was about.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
And then one of his father's last words were, "You're, I love you, my sons." It's not like, "I love you, my son Thor," and that one kid I adopted way back when after this war. So yeah, no, totally awesome. One of
It's
the
like the great
posters.
line from Thor when they say, or was it the Avengers? And they say, well, Loki killed so many people just today. And he's like, whoa, he's adopted.
He's
Yeah.
adopted.
Yeah.
Watch it. He's still my brother. Killed 18 people. Oh, he's adopted. Yeah, I love that line. Oh man, Facebook's acting weird. These comments aren't coming in real time anymore. So I have to keep refreshing. Mike says yes, crafting the sacred timeline. Oh, in reference to what he was
Yeah.
referencing to you earlier. What else here? Oh, one of the posters in the TVA. A lot of fans are looking at this one poster. Has a couple of like agents or justices. I think is what they are. One of them looks like a very young Stan Lee. More brownish hair,
Oh
but
yeah.
the big glasses and then the mustache. So quite possibly a Stan Lee cameo in Loki. I like that Loki knew in the Endgame flashback in 2012. He knew that the Avengers were all behind it. He goes, "I could smell the cologne of two Tony Starks." You really can't get anything past this guy.
No.
He understood that things were afoot and that the Avengers were behind it. And if you think about it, this show wouldn't exist if Hulk didn't use the stairs. If Hulk jumps off the building, if Hulk waits for a different elevator, there's no Loki series. But because he went down the stairs and knocks Tony Stark out with the Tesseract in his hand, that's why we have Loki. So thank you, Hulk, for taking the stairs. We love you, big guy.
One thing that we hadn't talked about was the Miss Minutes, that cartoon that Loki
Yes.
was watching. That was hilarious.
Mhm.
And it says, for all the always, or always some weird saying that it had.
For
For
all time,
all time,
always.
always, yeah. And the way she talked, like it was the old like 50s cartoon, kind
Yeah.
of style. And she goes, "Woo, doggy," and this and that. and Loki's just looking at it. She's trying to explain why you're here. You're on trial.
Tara Strong is a queen, man. For those of you who don't know, Tara Strong is the voice actress who voiced Miss Minutes, and she's just the best. She's voiced probably 50 of your favorite cartoons over
Hmm.
the years, but most importantly, Harley Quinn from Batman the Animated Series. So there you go.
Mhm.
Harley Quinn is also Miss Minutes, or the actress who voiced her. Quite amazing that Loki once lost a bet to Thor, hijacked a plane, held it ransom,
DB
and
Cooper, I lost my damn mind. I was like, oh
and
my
jumped out
god,
midair.
because I know this story. I was like, oh my god, they didn't just do that. I was laughing my ass off. I thought that was so good.
That was
If you,
funny.
yeah,
Thor
That
and
was
if
Loki
so
doing
good.
pendejadas like brothers.
And I'm watching it, I'm laughing, and Tina hasn't seen it yet, and I'm just explaining what that is, and she's like, she had no idea who the hell DB Cooper was, and I'm just like, just Google it. It's so funny the fact that that was Loki all along. I'm just like, that's so great.
it
Oh, that's
makes
so
you wonder if they're gonna keep doing this. If Loki's going to
I hope
be,
so.
but this is also in the past, right?
yeah,
So will Loki also be portraying other figures in history who have like mysterious circumstances surrounding them? DB Cooper, for anybody who doesn't know, that was a
yeah,
real story. This real person, way back when,
the
hijacked a
70s. Yeah,
plane, asked for $200,000, which was a lot of money in the 70s, and never landed the plane. He jumped out. They never found the guy, but they found traces of money on an island where he might have landed. But who knows? Nobody
somewhere
knows
in the
whatever happened to him.
Northwest. Yeah, nobody knows what happened to him. He's to this day is a mystery. All they have is a sketch of a guy with sunglasses to the point Loki looked actually like him.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, if you Google the story, it's actually pretty funny. And now that they tied that in. So
Awesome,
mhm.
freaking amazing. Let's go ahead and close the case on this first episode. I absolutely loved it. We didn't talk a lot about Owen Wilson on this show so far, but I'm gonna say this is peak Owen Wilson. Talkie. Absolutely love that. He's so good. He's so sarcastic. He's so funny. I love his dry, witty humor. Please, a lot more Owen Wilson. I love Tom Hiddleston, and I forgot how much I loved Owen Wilson. So please, a lot of just those two cats together because the banter between the two of them, like their styles of comedy and timing and everything, and their personalities, just work so well together. So I think it's brilliant that they brought Owen Wilson in. And listen, get your gears turning, right? Because if there's anything we know about Marvel, is usually somewhere in the first couple of episodes is this big charade where something that we're told, something that we believe, turned out to be like 100% false. So Owen might be in on it. The timekeeper's story might be completely BS, and there's something else really happening. And the fact that like they allowed the Avengers to run around through time in order to like save half the universe because it was their destiny. It sounds great, but it feels like it's a little bit biased. So I feel like there's going to be this huge revelation towards the middle or the end of the episode where like something's going to get flipped on its head completely. And I don't have enough information to figure out what that is just yet. Maybe it's one of these TVA agents, right? That they're in on something. It feels like there has to be an inside job somewhere. And what do these time reset devices do? Very interesting that they set one in Mongolia where Loki took off and landed, and it started expanding, but they pulled away from it before we could actually see what it was doing. So whoever this Loki hooded figure is taking a lot of these. What is that going to do? What is that for? Is it for the TVA? Are they trying to take out the TVA? If you take out the police that's policing the sacred timeline, then all the timelines could just run amok, and then we're gonna have some real big problems. I don't know. There's a lot that could happen. I'm excited. Jericho, what about you, man? Final thoughts on Loki season premiere?
Same, man. Like it's going to be a great show. I mean, we've spent almost an hour talking about one episode that
Mhm.
wasn't even that long, and that just goes to show you how much there was to unpack for this show. So um, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, and the fact that it's in the middle of the week compared to the end of the week, I think is pretty cool too. It
Right?
just gives you time to kind of unpack a little bit too, and um, I don't know, man. Like it looks fun. It's time travel and timelines and everything. So my head still hurts from from hearing all this. But it's going to be one of those things where we can come up with all kinds of theories, and we're all probably going to be wrong. But it's fun.
Absolutely.
That's the fun part about it.
I'm used to it
So
by now,
I'm
considering the way the
excited.
first two went. So it's whatever.
JC, what about you, man? Final thoughts about the Loki season premiere?
Fun start, and let's just see what happens. Let's see where it goes from here. And I really need to study time travel because this is crazy.
Joe will teach you.
Right.
And then last but not least, Joe, what about you, man? Final thoughts on the Loki premiere?
I think Loki's going to be a unique series. It could quite possibly be the most watched Marvel TV series out of all of them. So it's going to be really interesting, and it's going to be a really fun ride just to sit back and enjoy. So I'm really looking forward to it. I already like what it's done in the first episode more so than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think Loki's going to be a really big hit for Disney Plus.
Absolutely. Clearly right because so far it's had the biggest Marvel premiere record thus far. I got
Yeah.
one last thing to say. It's gonna be very quick. This is how creative and how crafty Loki is, right? Because he knew that that reset watch that Mobius had puts him in the same spot, right?
Mhm.
So he acts mad and throws a chair, knowing he would have to fall on the floor, which forced Mobius to
Yeah.
go pick him up and gave Loki the opportunity to get that device from his jacket. That's how crafty, that's how far, how many steps ahead Loki is as a character. I thought it was beautiful that he did that. He threw the chair on purpose so that he could fall the next time that watch got reset, and then he would have the opportunity to get close and take the device. Freaking brilliant, man. Absolutely love it. Well written. I'm excited. This is gonna be great. I think somebody wrote online, maybe it was JC, I don't know, that episode 2 has already been screened by like all the big tabloids and all that.
Somebody commented and they said it's even better than the first one. Yeah, someone did comment. I'm apologize. These comments scrolled super fast and it was hard to kind of keep up with them. But
all good.
yeah, someone said that episode 2 they've screened to media and they said it's already
I
going
think
to
it was
be better than the
Michael.
first one. Was it Mike? Somebody did, or it might have been David on Facebook. I know it was a Facebook comment, I believe. So
There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
listen, it's the discussion isn't over for you guys. If you're just watching this video now, if you're watching it in the future because you got
David,
kidnapped
there
by
we
the
go.
TVA and
Yeah.
yeah,
There you go.
and then you
It
got
was
released.
David Lozano's
Yeah. Mhm.
comment. He says, according to the media that got screeners, the second episode is better than the first.
Mhm.
There you go. As I was saying, if you see this video later on, we want to hear from you. So drop your thoughts in the comments. What are the Easter eggs that you noticed? What are the scenes that stuck out to you the most? What are your theories for what's coming up next? I know that the sky's the limit. The galaxy, the edge of the galaxy is a limit with this series, it feels like. We're all excited. We can't wait. So let us know. You can also send us a message on Facebook by clicking the send message button, or you can always email us on the contact page of our website at www.countdownsgeekcast.com. We need to talk about Celebrity Fan Fest, gents. You all ready?
Sure.
Bring it on.
Our friends at Celebrity Fan Fest, which if you've been following our show for a few years, you've seen some of our best moments attending Celebrity Fan Fest in San Antonio. We've interviewed celebrities from Ray Fisher to JC. You interviewed a few people.
Kevin
Kevin
Sorbo,
Sorbo, Supergirl.
Heather
What's her name?
Slater.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we've
Hernandez.
Ernie Hudson
Ernie
from the
Hudson.
Ghostbusters.
How do you forget that?
I'm it's late. I'm still thinking about time travel. Yeah, so Celebrity Fan Fest is actually right around the corner at the end of July, running through the 8th of August. Celebrity Fan Fest will take over Six Flags Fiesta Texas down in San Antonio, Texas. And they're great friends of ours. It's going to be a tremendous event. They've already been making plenty of announcements about who's going to be in attendance, and we're going to drop some of those announcements right now. That way, you guys can get excited with us, and then you can attend and say hello because we will most definitely be there. First of which, we'll start with the big guns attending or appearing at Celebrity Fan Fest July 31st through August 1st only will be Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he's filming his Kenobi series right now. So this guy's going to have a couple of days off, come down to South Texas, and kick it with the fans at Six Flags.
Said it was his first
Listen,
con too, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that's pretty
it's
cool.
his first con where he's actually, I think, meeting guests face to face.
Wow.
He's done like the Star Wars conventions and all that stuff, Star Wars Celebration. He's definitely done San Diego Comic Con probably once or twice. But yeah, Ewan McGregor will be in the house, and then also appearing on July 31st only is Darth Vader himself, Hayden Christensen, which is very exciting. I don't know what I can say about that, but
Hey,
it's going to be
Can
tremendous.
I get a loan to get an autograph? It's like $225.
So a lot of that stimulus money, Joe. That's really what it's
Hayden
about.
Christensen.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, Ted has money, so he's money bags, dude.
Don't tell
You
my
seen the
business,
o-
Joe.
You seen the Oasis he has in his backyard? Come on now, give us some scratch, Uncle Ted.
Let's see. Let's see. David says he got a VIP badge for FanFest. Bravo, David.
Nice.
You're gonna have a blast, sir. And Ewan will also be doing a panel as well, which is very exciting. And listen, you cats over at Celebrity Fan Fest, if you're looking for a moderator for that panel, it's got to be me, or it's got to be this guy, or even
Rob,
that guy, or even that guy.
did you see this, Ted? Rob
I did
C.
not,
watching Loki.
bro.
Oh, there he is.
Are you surprised
There
the old
he
Rob
is.
is not
I-
watching?
Wasn't it Jericho that didn't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was waiting to build up because of what WandaVision did to me, having to wait each week. So I was waiting to build up, and then I just haven't gotten around to watching it. Rob, on the other hand, is purposely choosing not to watch Loki at all. Total difference.
I feel like his wife is watching it though.
Mhm.
And I love Rob Basura. From what I'm hearing, is what his comment said. Wow, without even
What?
watching an episode.
Of course.
We love you, Rob.
Love you, Rob. Come back on the
Yeah.
show, sir. Let's get on with a few more of these appearances. Appearing August 2nd through the 3rd as two of them. Appearing August 2nd and 3rd is Gotham stars Robin Lord Taylor as well as Bruce Wayne himself, David Mazouz. Mazouz? I don't know.
Mazouz.
They'll both be in attendance. Coming back to Celebrity Fan Fest August 4th through 6th, Cyborg himself, the one and only Ray Fisher. Eddie McClintock will be there August 2nd through the 4th. Rob Mays will be there the 5th through the 7th of August. From The Walking Dead, Lou Temple, August 6th through 8th. Josh Mickle, August 6th through 8th. And let's see, Gigi Edgley from Farscape in the Lost World, August 6th through 8th. And then comic book man fan favorite, right? Ming Chen will be in the house August 4th through 8th. I got some questions for that gentleman. Hope he watches this pretty soon. And
Yeah.
Ming, this is your formal invitation, sir. Anytime you want to kick it with the Geekcast, you're more than welcome. Hope to talk to you soon, my friend. Kenny James will be there the 6th through the 8th. You should know his voice. He's the voice of Bowser from the Mario video games.
Mhm.
And then kind of the big one
Not
right
from the
now.
movie, not from Mario Brothers, the movie.
Oh, God
No. Definitely
Good
not.
night, guys.
Definitely not.
Jesus Christ, gotta bring it up. You son of a.
You're going to piss off JC.
I know.
Also, a huge announcement from Superman and Lois, the main stars. Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Tulloch, who plays Lois on
I
the
might get
show.
an autograph from her.
Oh man, Matthew Wood, who voices General Grievous and also played Bib Fortuna on The Mandalorian. Matthew Wood will be in attendance. This is turning out to be a huge event. How could I forget the Defenders? Charlie Cox, Christian Ritter, and Mike Coulter. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage will
And
all be in
Jessica Jones is
attendance as
hot,
well.
bro. I'm gonna get another autograph right there.
I believe you. I believe you, man.
What if
Listen,
they
if
have
you're
Zack
watching,
Snyder? What if Zack Snyder showed up?
ooh, that'd be pretty cool. He's a busy guy though.
Man,
He's a busy guy though. He's working
Ted
on
read
will
Ted's
multiple
like
mind.
projects right now.
Yeah.
He's working
Ted
on
would ask,
Justice League 2, Joe.
Ted would ask for a
right.
lock
We
of
hope-
hair. Can I have a lock of hair, Zack Snyder? I want to smell it.
Hold on. Rob says negative. Wife will wait until all episodes are out. Okay, so she
For
will watch.
Loki.
That's my point. Spoiler.
So
I'll
maybe
be the
you'll take a
last
look to
guest.
see too. Come on.
Rob says spoiler. I'll be the last guest Celebrity Fan Fest is going to announce. Probably, sir. And then he also
Is it
says
gonna
Maybe
cost
on the
easily
October 1st
forgettable.
day.
Rob? Ted, what is it going to cost to get an autograph from Rob?
Shit, you don't can't afford it.
A bottle of Shiner.
Mike, Ted would use his hall pass.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's worked before. Let's see. I think Rob's talking in Yoda speak, right? So
1 billion
Easily forgettable.
an autograph. That's pesos, right? That's in pesos.
1 billion in Monopoly money, in Ghostbusters
Yep.
Monopoly money that Jericho is
Yep.
playing right now. Listen, let's get to the important stuff, right? Celebrity Fan Fest it feels like it's a ways away, but it's really not. And photo ops and autographs are not guaranteed if you don't buy them already. What I'm trying to say is there's a limited amount. These guys are only going to be signing autographs and taking photos for like X amount of time. Once they hit a limit, that's it. And you're not getting an autograph, you're not getting a photo op. So if you want to get a photo op with any of these stars, you better do it sooner than later because I would hate for you to miss your opportunity to get a photo op with Kenobi, with Vader, with any of the Defenders, some of these other cats. Without Ming, wouldn't that be terrible if you want to get a photo op with Ming and it wasn't available because they sold out?
Mhm.
So do not wait. I would
Or he was
hate
busy
it.
talking to us. That's the
Probably
other
so.
thing too.
We're gonna hang out with Ming. We're gonna get on all the roller coasters. It's gonna be a great day, folks. Be sure you're there to check it out.
Shout out, Mike. That comment's hilarious.
Oh gosh, what
Yep.
do you do?
He said Ted wants the 6-hour Snyder cut, if you know what I mean. So
Uh,
Oh,
it's
man.
only 4 hours, Mike. Just kidding.
yeah.
It's funny. It's funny, Mike. Is this what you do in the summer when school's out, Mike? Jesus.
Hey, it was a long school year. Just let
Yeah.
it ride, dude. They deserve a chance.
David, shout out. Oh, Kanan, how can I forget Jericho's favorites? Freddie Prinze Jr. is also going to be
Kanan.
in the house. Listen, he voices Kanan on, oh gosh, not
Rebels.
Clone Wars, Rebels. But he's also one of the biggest Star Wars fans out there. So I hope he has a panel, and I hope he's just talking Star Wars nonstop because he has a fantastic knowledge and understanding of the Force and everything in between. Rob says,
This
"Shut it,
one's
Jericho.
fine.
Said he didn't give you permission to speak." Funny, funny. You know
Yeah,
what I
good
was
Rob.
doing? I was going back through our Celebrity Fan Fest videos for research, and the video of Rob and Jericho came up when they were going around interviewing the mannequins
God.
and like the statues and stuff.
Yeah.
It got some good traction. I was actually surprised how many hundreds of views it got.
Nice.
I'm not saying that it wouldn't have, but I'm just saying like, wow, that got a lot of views for as short
We
and
literally
as
were just talking to the statues and
and they were
walking
talking
around.
back.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Look at
awesome.
Yeah.
Rob. Gonna go buy an autograph from Freddie Prince.
Yeah.
Freddie Prince.
Yeah, I'd love to have a convo with Ray Prince about Star Wars. Yeah, the dude is like an encyclopedia of Star Wars. Go check out a couple of podcasts he's been on where he just talks Star Wars stuff, and it blows your mind how much he knows about it. He's had like long conversations with
Mm.
either George or oh my gosh, my
With
mind is
Filoni, David Filoni.
Dave Filoni. Yeah, he's had long conversations about like just the Force, Star Wars characters, Jedi, Sith, everything in between. So yeah, he knows a ton about Star Wars. Do not wait, folks. I can answer a couple of questions that I've already uncovered. So if you do not have a Six Flags season pass, you will need to obviously get a ticket to enjoy Celebrity Fan Fest. When you get to the website pmxevents.com, you can tell right away which are like the 1 day or the 2 day passes to get into the event. If you already have a Six Flags season pass, you don't have to buy the full badge price. You can buy what they call an all access pass. It's a reduced price because included in the normal Celebrity Fan Fest tickets is access to the theme park. But you already have access to the theme park. So you just need to buy the all access badge, and that gets you full access to Celebrity Fan Fest. I don't know the exact amount, but it's a reduced price. It gets you access to Celebrity Fan Fest and all the areas, but you still have to buy autographs and photo ops separately. If you have any questions, there's a FAQ page on the PMX event site, and then if you still have more questions, just write a comment on their page, and somebody will reach out to you pretty soon and give you some answers. Gentlemen, who are you most excited to see? Joe, let's start with you, man. What are
I
your
was
thoughts?
excited to see the cockroach that I just killed that just walked into my studio. He's dead now, so I think he might be worth something to Rob.
Oh
Maybe we can
man.
get Rob can get an autograph from the cockroach for $1 billion. No, I'm interested to see Ewan McGregor. I think he would be a pretty cool autograph. Him and Christian, of course, Haydenson, Obi-Wan, and Darth Vader. So I'd be interested to get an autograph from either one of them, but they are selling out quick. So if you're going to get some at Ted, I need a loan there.
You need a
It's
loan.
late. It's late.
Loans mean you pay them back though. You gonna pay it back? I'm just
No,
kidding.
an IOU. I'll give you an IOU. Once I get the autograph, I'm out, bro.
They're
I'm
just
out.
as good as
He's
cash. Yeah.
He said he's kidding about paying back.
You know
so
what I'll give
he's
you?
just going to lend it to you.
You know
Just
what
give it
I'll
to you.
give you? That's just as
beer.
good as cash.
Oh, what's that?
Rob Bucks.
Rob
Rob
Bucks.
Rob Bucks. Make sure you announce you pronounce that correctly, sir. JC, what are you, man? Who are you excited so far to see?
I can tell you, my wife is excited to potentially see Freddie Prinze Jr. just to see if he'll autograph her copy if she's all that. But by the way, he was a writer for WWE among other things too, so he knows his
What?
wrestling. Yeah, he used to be a writer for WWE a long time ago.
That's nuts. I had no idea.
Yeah.
How would that happen? That's
He's
wild.
a smart guy. I'm excited to meet Tyler Hoechlin, Elizabeth Tulloch from Superman and Lois. I'm really enjoying that show. I think they're doing a fantastic job.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be hard to get the time off from work because it's right smack dab in the middle of the week when at the part of the month that's really busy for me work
The
wise.
latest episode was Fire, JC.
Yeah, it was, and I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow too.
Yeah.
I would love for Ted to get a follow-up interview with Ray Fisher since the last one you did at
That
the
would be
first
dope.
That'd be
Celebrity Fan Fest. Yeah. So how much things have changed since the release of the Snyder Cut for him, and see how much further down the rabbit hole you might get in a little interview again. So that's what
I
I'm
hope
excited to see.
so. Great. Let's do this, man. Part
Yeah.
2 interview. Yeah, because the last time we talked, there was like no hope. There was no hope whatsoever. There was no social media campaign. Like
Yeah,
there
we're
wasn't
talking
even
about some other TV
rumors.
show he was going to appear in, and it's just like I mean,
That's how far back it was. Yeah. It was
yeah,
crazy.
we had no idea what was going to happen. I mean, he seemed. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot more revealed now that he's been more outspoken about. So
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see how much more he would love to talk about his work on the Snyder Cut, or on I'm just going to call it his work on the real Justice League movie, and how much better it's been for him since that got released.
Well done,
So-
sir. Real Justice League. I like that. Not the fake one.
No.
Jericho, I mean, this is probably an easy question, but who are you most excited to see at Celebrity Fan Fest?
So Superman Lois, and I wouldn't mind if we're gonna hang out with Ming Chen all day. Let's walk around.
Talk
Down the
statues.
museum.
Talk to
Yeah,
Statue
exactly. I want to
Ming.
see what the statues have been up to. I'll do a follow-up interview with them. And even Freddie Prinze. I think that'd be pretty cool. Freddie Prinze Jr. would be pretty badass to meet.
I
You know
should know
what?
they haven't announced any wrestlers yet, so I'm curious to see if they're going to bring in people from like WWE, AEW, Impact, and see if anybody else is going to make appearances too.
I'm
pretty
hoping,
cool.
and
Yeah.
what's going to happen is we're going to kidnap the moderator for the panel, and then we're going to throw you up there with a microphone. And what are they going to do? They're going to stop you from
Oh, never
talking
let us come back again. Is
during the
basically what
panel.
happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's fine, but at least you get to moderate the panel with whichever WWE stars are up there. Oh my gosh!
If it's Alexa Bliss, I'll push hard for that. But
Oh,
yeah,
I was just about to say,
They
hold
just
Jason
on.
had
Cage,
it
goddamn it.
hard already, man, with Alexa Bliss.
How did you know that's what popped into my head? If Alexa
Oh my
Bliss
gosh.
is there in attendance and somehow JC becomes a moderator for the panel, he's gonna cave, bro. I don't care. You're gonna lose it. This is just gonna be
Yeah.
like a buffoon, just like mumbling. How about?
No, he's
No.
gonna be.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
it's
no.
Alexa Bliss.
I'll get my composure. I'll be sweating my ass off though. You'll see it. I'm gonna drop a lot of weight just from sweating. But if anything, I wouldn't mind getting an interview with her. That'd be pretty damn awesome. So
I could already hear.
You would lose it, man.
He'll
yeah,
introduce Alexa
yeah.
Bliss, and then he'll be like, "I'm very happy for your wedding."
yeah.
It should have been me. He's gonna go all.
Swear to
all
God,
hard.
you're making me sound like Yolanda Saldivar in the Selena series. Don't even do that, man. God.
I'm not jaded, Alexa. It should have been me. You're gonna pull him
Yeah.
off.
Oh man, that's amazing. Freddie Prinze was an acting coach for wrestlers. Is that so, Rob?
Mhm.
I didn't know you knew that, Rob. How much for
Shut up,
the
Rob.
Hayden or Kenobi photo ops?
225 for Kenobi and 175 for Darth Vader.
And I think for the dual photo op, is it like 3 something or
Don't
4
guess.
400 something?
It was
It-
for
it's a-
something like 425. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the fours, but don't guess. I don't want to get these things wrong. Please check the website.
Yeah.
And
Check the
I
website.
did. I did. It was 225 for Kenobi and 179 for Hayden.
no, for the dual one. I don't want
Oh,
to get
for the
throw
dual one,
out
yeah.
I
guesses.
think the dual one sold out though, didn't it? Oh, it's
Yeah.
410, and they only have Saturday available. So,
Well, that's because Hayden's only there one day.
He's only there
that's
for that
right.
day. Yeah.
I wonder if we could
Let's
get
see.
say the lines. I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
No, sir. Let's not do that. Oh my god. There's some other stuff in here. David Lozano says Ewan. He's most excited to see Ewan. I am as well. I can't wait to see Kenobi. It's gonna be awesome. And
You want to see Ray Fisher just so you can ask him about Zack Snyder. What's it like to work with him?
hold on. Mike says he'd be in the front row yelling at JC, "Remember your wife and kids and me."
what the hell happened to this episode? We're going off the
Wow.
rails.
Wow.
If anybody
Wow.
doesn't know, Alexa Bliss is number 2 on JC's like all-time women crush list.
Who was number 1? Wasn't it that girl from Karate Kid?
No, it's Gail Kim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who's
But
another?
but yeah, Tamara Tamlin is still beautiful. Good God. So
And
Kumiko still makes my heart beat.
but Gail Kim's husband could pound JC if you wanted.
Yeah. I would honestly like to meet him just so I get some cooking tips. 'Cause, that's really what I would like to meet him. He's a hell of a
True.
chef. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Ted, I think Rob needs a loan for some autographs.
Well, I don't know. I might help Rob out because he's actually trying to get a house right now. That's probably why he's not on the show. It's the only reason why he's not talking on the show right now is because he's house buying. That's what it is. Good reason, Rob. Good luck, sir. All right, we need to finish the show up. E3
Thanks,
would
Mike.
be.
Sorry, go ahead.
He says he's got your back.
Mhm.
Awesome. Look, E3 would take too long to talk about right now. So let me see. Let's just
It's
get into
already
the rapid
past me
fire.
and JC's bedtime, Ted.
I know. I know.
Same here.
Samurai Shodown just came out on Steam. I'd like to stream it if I can, but this is going on. So
Nah, gotcha.
yeah.
We'll get off. We'll get off pretty soon. Rapid fire, real quick. We're gonna
2
drop
hours later.
some quick headlines, and then we're out of here. And I'll ask you
There we
Vince
go. We
kind
got
of
it back.
what impression. I got him. All right, here we go. First off, director James Wan announced that the Aquaman 2 title will be Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So announcement there. Lance Reddick announced that he will be playing Albert Wesker in the Netflix Resident Evil series. Shout out to Rob for Resident Evil because I know he's a big fan, and Netflix is gonna kill it. I'm almost sure of it. A new Lord of the Rings anime film is in development. It is titled The War of the Rohirrim, and it will kind of take place as a companion series within the original trilogy. So we'll kind of see the backstory around the Two Towers, if you will, or leading up to the Battle of the Two Towers. And then finally, the Masters of the Universe Revelation trailer is out on our Facebook page, and man, our followers are going crazy. Everybody's in love with it. It looks gorgeous. The design, the choreography, just everything looks so beautiful. If you haven't seen it, go down our timeline, look for the Masters of the Universe Revelation trailer. It's coming out on Netflix very soon, and it's written and created by Kevin Smith. And so I think he's gonna absolutely kill it. I can't wait for it. Anime and Netflix go hand in hand. Castlevania was an incredible series, and so they're gonna do just fine with it. Joe, out of all those headlines, what's your favorite one, man?
Probably that Aquaman, movie that you were saying, part 2. I think they should rename the title.
Uh-oh.
All toilets lead to the sea. Because I bet you anything is going to be a stinker just as bad as part 1.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
All
I'm gonna
right, all
pass
right.
on that one, dude. So, looking forward to Lord of the Rings, though. That's interesting.
JC, what about you, man? What's your favorite headline from those?
Master of the Universe. That takes me back to my childhood. I mean, I watched that growing up to see how it reimagined and everything like that. I was a kid when the original Masters of the Universe live action movie came out with Dolph Lundgren as He-Man. So this is
That's a cult classic, JC.
it is a cult classic.
Yep.
But this has been a long time. Yeah, with Courtney Cox, by the way, also in that movie too.
Courtney
So
Cox, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I forgot that.
yeah,
Oh my
so
god.
this I'm really looking forward to this. This is gonna take me back. So,
And
There's no
finally,
which film was better, He-Man
What's
or
up?
Super Mario?
it's He-Man.
He-Man.
He-Man,
Hands down.
He-Man.
What kind of question is that?
I said
Gosh.
there was no question as to which movie was better.
Oh, okay. I thought you were asking which one was better. I was like, what?
Oh no!
Yeah. So,
Jericho, which of those headlines are you most excited about?
He-Man. Even though I didn't grow up watching the show because I'm not as old as y'all, I don't know. I think it's Kevin Smith. Y'all know how I am feel about him. So anything written, directed, whatever from Kevin Smith, I'm down. And the trailer looked amazing. So I'm
Incredible.
definitely gonna check it out. Yeah.
Everything looked great. Rob's out. He's going night. So peace out, Rob. We'll
Yeah, I
talk to you
think
soon,
we
my
could all
friend.
pitch in and get Jericho an adult He-Man onesie. I want to see him wear that in the next episode.
I'm down.
I love it.
he's
Just
already
make
got
sure
the
you button
muscles.
up
He
the-
just needs the speedo.
Yeah, just make sure you
There you
button
go.
up the back, dude.
Wow.
You sure?
What the hell happened to this episode?
He doesn't want you to. Don't do it, Jericho. He doesn't want you to.
Yeah.
Oh man. Listen, we're gonna end the show on that note,
God.
Oh,
and
no.
we'll be back next Monday to talk about episode 2 of Loki. So be sure to join us. Why do you gotta leave, bro? Be sure to
Anyways, no
be,
time.
be sure to join us next
I
week
wonder if
to
his son
join
woke up. So
the discussion once again. For the Geekcast, my name is Steady. With me on this episode is the man, the myth, the legend. You know him as JC.
thanks for watching, listening. We'll catch you next time. Check out the Restcast tomorrow. We'll be recapping Impact Against All Odds, NXT TakeOver in Your House, and previewing WWE Hell in a Cell and why WWE's booking on Raw is just so damn stupid. We'll talk all about that tomorrow live. So
Jericho's back now.
yeah, check it out.
Oh, what happened? And then the man behind the magic, Joe Garcia.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening and watching and the comments. We loved everything about today's episode. And we got Jericho back. So we'll end it on
We got
that note.
Jericho. There
Yeah.
you go.
Sorry, my phone's
And
about to die. I'm at 2%.
last but never the least, the one and only Jericho.
Later, y'all. Good to be back.
Shout out to Mike. Shout out to David Lozano. Shout out to Rob.
Manny with the goods on YouTube. Appreciate
Yeah,
it,
man.
Shout
man.
out to the goods. Check them out
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Mhm.
Thanks for all the comments, all the discussion, all the jokes. Absolutely great. We'll see you guys next week. Shout out to Ben as well. If I missed you, I apologize.
Benny.
We'll get you next time. Have
Shout
a good
out
one,
to Rob.
guys.
Shout out to Rob.
Shout out to Rob. Night, Rob. We'll see y'all
Watch
next
Loki.
week.
Later,
Check
y'all.
out Loki.
Yeah, watch
Peace.
Loki.